Hi, welcome to Subramani.com. We make smart people richer. You've heard this before? Okay, I run a blog called Subramani.com. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook as PV Subramaniam, and on Twitter again I'm Subramani. So here I'm doing a series of programs on short programs as possible on retirement. And I'm starting by saying, what is retirement? So retirement is what? Is it a sum of money or is it an age? Well, it's a combination of both. Depending on your profession, you retire. So at 19 you retire if you're a gymnast, and at 91 you retire if you're a politician. If you're a businessman, maybe 85. Well, we're talking only of voluntary retirement. So a cricketer retires somewhere in his 30s or his 40s. Well, there are tennis players like Federer who go on into maybe their 40s, and there are actors who can go on into their 60s, right? So it depends on the profession, but largely your very demanding sport means a younger age for retirement. Now let us look at what is voluntary retirement. All of this is not voluntary retirement. You reach a particular age and you have to retire. What happens to a girl who takes a break, maybe at the age of 28 to have a kid, and again at the age of 32 to have a kid, and decides that she will spend 3 years with the kids, which means she is at 35, 36, she has already taken 2 short 3-year breaks on retirement. So what is retirement? Retirement is when you have a sum of money which has to be spent, but you have no incomes coming in. So it could be somebody taking time off to look after their parents or look after the kid or a sibling, to nurse them. So maybe they need to take a 6-month break, maybe they need to take a 2-year break. Any of these things are possible. What happens to a surgeon whose hands start shivering and he can no longer hold this scalpel to do the surgery? Well, he's got to take a break, he's got to retire. So some of this retirement would be compulsory, some of the retirement would be voluntary, largely voluntary. But yes, there could be some physical problems or mental problems which forces you to go into retirement. So that is compulsory retirement, voluntary retirement is what we've seen. Now retirement, it could be a sum of money. At the age of 45, you sit down and estimate that you need 3 crores for retirement and you already have the 3 crores. Then why should you work? Because largely assuming that you work because you have to bring in the money to pay the EMI, to pay for the expenses, etc. Once you have it, you don't need to retire, right? Or rather, you don't need to work. You can retire. You have the money to retire. So you have a compulsory retirement. Now you have a voluntary retirement saying, I don't need the money. So I can retire. I can pursue my hobby. So maybe I do business, right? Any of these things are possible. Will we ever retire? Have we gone to a stage where we will never retire, we will keep doing something, we will do a consultancy, we will do a mentoring, we do coaching or things like that, we become directors in companies. So if you're a directorship in 4 or 5 companies, which means you're really busy because each company would demand you give at least 3-4 days a month. So 5 directorship means 20 days of working, which means you can go on till the age of 75, 80, whatever you can. So will we ever retire? I think we might retire, we might decide not to do that kind of work, we may want to see the world, we may have some other hobbies which we want to pursue, which we couldn't pursue when we were younger. So all those things are possible. So what should you do if you reach a particular age when you have to retire either voluntarily or involuntarily and you don't have enough money? Well, that's tough. Then what you do is you try to push back the retirement a little. You try to live on less and you start praying that your portfolio does well and you have enough money to pull on. So you reduce your expenses. But when you keep reviewing your retirement at 35, 40, you realize that I need to maybe cut down my expenses and build up my portfolio. I know I'm going to live long. That's another risk that we run today. Visualization helps. Sit down and visualize, am I going to be in Goa? Am I going to be in my village? Am I going to be in Bombay? Do I want to be in a big city? Do I want to be in a small place? Do I want to remain in a semi-village or semi-urban kind of a place where hospital may be half an hour away, but then you have peace of mind. You don't need a hospital every day, but you have your temple, you have your mosque or whatever you want to. You have friends around you, you have your hobbies. That could be another way to look at retirement. So this is largely session 1, class 1 on what is retirement. So retirement is voluntary. Sometimes it could be compulsory. It depends on your age, it depends on your profession, and it depends on the sum of money. So let's say you have 5 lakhs of expenses at the age of 60 or maybe at the age of 55. and you have read, and you will continue. I'll talk about it. You will hear about it that you need 30 times your annual expenses. So your annual expenses are 5 lakhs. So you need 1.5 crores. You have it in place. Your annual expenses are 10 lakhs. You need 30 times that. You have 3 crores in place. That's fine. Anything beyond that is okay. But please remember, when I'm talking of 1.5 crores or 3 crores, I'm not talking of expenses like your children's education, children's marriage, anything else, your Europe trip, nothing. This money is just for retirement, which means you have to take care of it. You cannot afford to make mistakes. You cannot afford to lose money. This money will be kept in some places, different places, maybe an annuity bank, a mutual fund, and you will be able to withdraw regularly and spend on it for their retirement. And hopefully, we will make sure that the money lasts more than you and your spouse. That's the very important thing. You cannot exhaust your money even one day before you die. It has to last at least one day after you die. So that much you have to be careful. You cannot afford to make mistakes in managing this money. Thank you. See you later with the second episode.